What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to bring you another one of my 2014 WCQ H.A.T format deck profiles. The deck I wanted to show off today is Constellar Firefist. This deck was played a lot more back in 2014, and as of modern H.A.T format has been pushed back slightly, simply because people have tested other Constellar variants. For example, on my channel I have a Constellar artifact deck that is slightly more popular than this build, which if I remember I'll have it linked in the description if you want to check out that deck. But this deck is actually really powerful and is really cool, especially if you like the Firefist engine and Constellars as well. And I would say it's more of a rogue option, but it can definitely compete with some of the top decks, though it's not the most topping and most notable version, as I mentioned previously. But without further ado, I am excited to show off this list, so let's get right into it. Starting off with the Constellar monsters, I play 3 copies of Constellar Cost. This one allows you to target a Constellar monster you control and either increase or decrease its level. You can do that up to twice per turn, and it can target itself, so that's really cool, and it pairs really well with your other Constellar monsters being able to make rank 5s. Also, keep in mind it is a Beast Warrior, so it does have some synergy with the Firefist cards as well. After that, 3 copies of Constellar Pollux. This one, during the turn it's normal summoned, allows you to additional normal summon a Constellar monster. That's really cool because you can summon Pollux, then summon your costs and increase both their levels by 1, and that will allow you to make a rank 5, which is really good. After that, 3 copies of Constellar H.A.T. This one, when it's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 Constellar monster from hand, so that is really good too, just another extender basically. And after that, 2 copies of Constellar Sombre. I've talked about this card in the past and how sometimes I want to play 1 of it, sometimes I want to play 2, other times I want to play 3. I think 2 is the perfect number in this deck specifically because you play enough Constellars that its effect will be relevant, but you don't want to play 1 to where you never see it. And so what this one does is basically you can banish a Constellar monster from your graveyard and then target 1 Constellar monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And then this allows you to then normal summon 1 additional Constellar monster during the turn you activate this effect. So that is very good, allowing you to basically add back resources as well as get an additional summon. It also has another effect based on reducing tribute levels, but that doesn't come up in this build specifically. And that is it for the Constellars. Moving on to the Firefist engine, it's a very standard Firefist engine of 2 copies of Bear. When it inflicts damage, allows you to set a Fire Formation spell from your deck, and then you can get rid of a Fire Formation spell or trap to pop a monster. 1 copy of Gorilla. This one, when it destroys a monster by battle, allows you to set a Fire Formation spell from deck, and then you can get rid of a Fire Formation spell or trap to pop a back row. And then the honorary Firefist Wolfbark, being able to summon back one of your Firefist monsters, basically, and then it has its effects negated, but you're able to go and make a rank 4, which is really nice. Lastly, I am playing 3 copies of Max C. This deck can play a kind of control-y game, so as much resources as you can draw as possible is really nice, as well as slowing down those combo decks. So very good. Some people choose not to play these. These could technically be swapped out for things like Instant Fusion, Upstart Goblins, DD Crows, just a handful of things. This is just my player preference. Go with whatever you like the most. For the spell cards, we are playing 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki, being able to add your Wolfbark, your Firefist monsters, or your Constellar Costs, which is really nice, and also 1 Tensu, giving you an additional normal summon of a Beast Warrior type monster. So again, that can give you an additional summon of a cost. For example, even if you see something like one of your Constellars and your opponent negates the effect to give you an additional summon, then you can activate this, summon the cost, and still get it off. Or if you see like this plus one of your Fire Fist monsters, you can just, summon the summon the Constellar or whatever you need, and then you activate this, get the Fire Fist monster on field. You can do Xyz plays or really whatever you want from there. Just very solid card and definitely a good one of in the deck. Then I play one copy of Rhoda. This one allows you to search for your copies of Constellar Pollux, which is the one that gives you an additional normal summon of a Constellar, so just more consistency is nice. After that, 2 copies of MST for back row, 2 copies of Lance to guarantee that your monsters stay on board, as well as being able to get over big monsters, and if you have Fire Fist, inflict some damage or kill the monster so you can set your Tenkis or Tensus. 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, just being effect monster negation when you go second, so if your opponent is playing artifacts or something, or things like Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, it just helps you to negate those things going second, as well as making your things bigger during damage step, which can be very nice, and also just not being able to have negation pretty much that doesn't lose to wiretap the way other trap cards can. Very, very good card. Then I play 2 other spells, 1 Soul Charge. With things like Sombre and Wolfbark, you don't necessarily need to make the biggest plays. Just 1 Soul Charge is completely good, and I play other cards for recursion that you'll see in a minute. And 1 copy of Pot of Dichotomy. This card's pretty cool because you have a lot of different types in this deck. So what this does is at the start of main phase 1, you target 3 monsters with different types in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 2. And then you can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this. Like I said, you have insects in Max C, you have fairies in Sombre, spellcasters in Algiady, Pollux is a warrior, and then you have all your beast warriors and stuff. So this card is just really, really solid. Moving on to the traps, I play 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. I chose Fiendish Chain over things like Breakthrough Skill because this deck can at times have a problem against the hands, because you will have things like Tenki on the field and stuff, but also because you can recycle this with things in your extra deck, such as your copies of Pleiades, so that is really good. After that, 2 copies of Call the Haunted, just as recursion, similar to how I said with Soul Charge. This card is just really good, and being able to, again, bounce copies with Pleiades and reuse them is nice. And after that, 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and 1 Warning. And then there is 1 last spot in the deck, and I chose to main a copy of Soul Drain. This deck has, no graveyard effects, really, or anything. So what this does is you can activate it by paying 1,000 life points. Monsters that are banished, as well as monsters in the graveyard, cannot activate their effects that start a chain. So that gives this deck an advantage over a lot of different decks, such as Mermails and things, artifacts. This card just completely wrecks those cards, and the fact that this deck can main it is really cool. For the extra deck, we play 1 Gaia Dragon to stack on top of our 5s and do piercing, 1 Tyrus, 1 Volcasaurus, and 1 Pleiades. You have ways of putting these back, and also you don't have the most ways to make rank 5s the way you would in other Constellar decks, so I think this is completely fine. Next, for the 4s, we play 1 Tiger King. You need Beast Warriors to make it, and it can set your Fire Formation cards, and it also has a kind of skill drainy type effect. 1 Black Ship of Corn, again to out hands and problematic cards. 101, 1 Heartland Draco, because we play continuous spells, and, attacking directly for 2,000 is nice. Diamond Direwolf to out problematic cards. 1 Exciton, 1 Cardinal, being able to recycle your Fire Formation and Fire Fist cards and shuffle opponents' cards is really nice. 1 Emerald to put back any of your resources. Dweller, Cowboy, and Rhapsody and Berserk to round out the extra deck. There is a lot of space in the extra if you want to move things around or play other cards. Also, in terms of the main deck, some people like Honest. I completely forgot to mention that. I think since you are playing the Fire Fist engine and things, Honest just isn't as good as it would be in a more pure version, or a version that plays, artifacts and things as well if you really wanted to, but I chose not to play that. But anyways, that is the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends. If you have any suggestions on videos you'd like to see in the future, definitely let me know. And anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.